Welcome to the deep dive. When most of us think about Genesis chapter 1, we kind of just summarize it with that one quick sentence. God made the world in 7 days.
Right, and it gets the job done, but it misses so much.
It misses everything.
Yeah.
Because that summary completely skips the point. When you dive into the sources, and we're talking about a deep exegesis of the original Hebrew Masoretic text, you find this incredibly precise blueprint built on intentional structure.
And that's really our mission today. This isn't just a simple chronology, it's a structural manifesto. We're launching a deep dive into the very start, what the text calls Bereshit, and we're going to unpack some of the key Hebrew terms that define God's role, what chaos actually means here, and the methodical process used to build a perfectly ordered world for you, the learner.
Yeah, we're looking for those structural nuggets, the things that make you go, oh, okay. This document is obsessed with clear boundaries, defined roles, and delegated stewardship. It's all about order. And frankly, it spends zero time on the kinds of cosmological battles you see in neighboring cultures.
Not at all.
So let's start right at the very beginning, verses 1 and 2. God's primacy and the nature of chaos. The opening is just staggering. Our sources all highlight that when the story begins, God Elohim is just already there.
He's already present.
Right. And that name, Elohim, it emphasizes power, authority, sovereignty. It immediately sets God completely outside and before the universe. I mean, it's the ultimate statement of preexistence.
It fundamentally defines the relationship from the get-go. God precedes creation. God doesn't emerge from it. And that is such a crucial distinction in the ancient world.
Oh, absolutely. Where gods were often born from the chaos.
Exactly. Born from primal waters, generated by other cosmic forces. Genesis just says no. God is the source, not the product. And the scoop of this creation is total. It's all captured in two words. The heavens, Hashamayim, and the earth, Haaretz.
Everything. Seen and unseen.
Everything.
And the verb for what this being does is just as exclusive. The text uses bara, translated as created. What's so special about bara?
Well, bara is a fascinating linguistic choice. It means bringing something brand new into existence purely by divine action. And critically, in this text, the verb bara is, well, it's only ever used with God as the subject.
Only God.
Only God. Humans can build, they can make, they can shape things, but only God can bara. It confirms the entire act is intentional, deliberate. Not some cosmic accident. It's a purposeful, sovereign act.
Okay, so this singular, unmatched creator starts working on a stage that the text describes as formless and empty. Tohu vavohu. I mean, that sounds truly chaotic, doesn't it?
It does. It really does. But we have to unpack that word chaotic very carefully. The sources clarify that tohu vavohu means unshaped and unorganized. It does not mean damaged or ruined or, evil.
Ah, okay, so it's not bad, just unfinished.
Unfurnished is a great way to think about it. Imagine a contractor handing you a building shell. The structure is there, but the interior spaces haven't been separated or defined or made functional yet. It's pure potential.
That's a huge distinction, especially in context. If you look at, say, the Babylonian creation myths, the cosmos starts with Tiamat, the chaotic sea monster god.
Yes, and the other gods have to fight her. They have to kill her to build the world from her carcass. It's war first, then creation.
But not here.
Yep.
Here we encounter the deep, the Tihom, the vast undifferentiated waters. And what is it doing?
Nothing. It's passive. It's silent. It is not a god. It is not a threat. And God doesn't have to fight it or conquer it. The initial state is just non-hostile potential. It's simply waiting for order.
And God is already there in the middle of it. You're talking of the Ruach Elohim, the Spirit of God, hovering over the waters.
Right.
That image of hovering, what does that convey? It doesn't sound like a fight is coming.
No, it suggests this anticipatory active presence. God's not repairing damage or observing from far away. The image is more like a bird hovering over a nest, vigilant, preparatory, ready to move from potentiality to reality.
So the stage is set. Chaos is passive, the creator active, and then day one. Creation begins with something incredibly simple. Speech. God said Amar.
Just a command. No effort, no struggle. And God's word is effective immediately.
And the very first thing created is light. Or, now here's a critical point. This is a primordial light, divine in nature, and it is not yet connected to the sun or the stars.
That's the part that gets everyone. It's just the introduction of order and clarity into the darkness.
Wait, hold on. That feels backward. If you're building a world, wouldn't you put the sun in place first to power the whole system? Why create light and then, much later, the things that carry the light?
That's the genius of the structural ordering. It's a huge theological statement.
That's it.
Order precedes the instruments of order. God can create light without needing secondary objects like a sun. And then immediately, God organizes things through separation. God separated Badal, the light, from the darkness.
So separation is the core organizational tool here. It's about creating categories, not annihilation. Darkness isn't destroyed.
No, not at all. It's defined. It's given a role. And that defining leads right to naming. God called Kara the light day, Yom, and darkness night, Layla.
And naming is an act of authority. It assigns identity and function.
Exactly. It sets the boundaries. And then you get that rhythm that closes out day one. There was evening and there was morning. Erev and Boker.
What's the purpose of that phrasing? Is it about a 24-hour day?
I think the sources suggest it's much more about rhythm than duration. The focus is on the completion of a phase of God's work. It's about process and pattern. Each period of work is bracketed by this transition.
Okay, that pattern continues right into day 2. God creates the expanse, the rakia, which separates the waters below from the waters above.
Right, and we should think of the rakia less like a hard dome and more like, well, the atmosphere, a structural frame that provides stability. It takes that single water mass, the Tihom, and creates stable domains.
A place for birds to fly and a stable surface below.
Precisely. And the text makes a point of saying creation just responds. And it was so. No cosmic grumbling, no resistance, just stability achieved.
So day 2 gives us vertical stability. Day 3 tackles the horizontal space. The waters are gathered. Quava and dry land, Yabasha, is revealed.
And that new land is immediately made functional. It's commanded to produce vegetation. This introduces 2 concepts that are just fundamental to the whole system. The built-in reproductive system seed in it, Zera, and those clear, unbreachable boundaries of Lemonehu.
According to its kind. So limine is the principle of reliable, fixed biological boundaries. An oak tree produces acorns, not apples.
Exactly. It creates a predictable, reliable ecosystem where everything functions within its defined limits. And after this arrangement, stable land, sustainable vegetation, God's evaluation is that it is tolf.
Good.
Good, but not good as in morally good. It means suitable, beneficial, functioning exactly as intended for the job it was given.
Which brings us to day 4, which is... This is so fascinating, structurally and theologically.
Yeah.
Why wait so long to create the sun, moon, and stars? Light's been running since day 1.
Day 4 is the crucial move for the original audience. This is the absolute peak of demythologization in the chapter.
What do you mean by that?
Well, in the surrounding cultures, the sun, the moon, the stars, they were powerful deities, often hostile ones that dictated human fate through astrology. Genesis just cannot allow that.
So the text is deliberately knocking them down a peg. They aren't even called by their names, sun and moon. They're just the greater light and the lesser light.
They're downgraded to purely functional devices, miorat, lights. The text strips them of any divine power by focusing only on their utilitarian job description. It's like trying to undermine a king's authority by only ever calling him the guy who signs the papers.
It's dismissive. So what is their function then?
They serve as markers. For Ot, which means signs, and for Meneadim appointed times, seasons, and later on, religious festivals, and for days and years.
Their whole purpose is regulation.
That's it. They rule Limshalit the day and night, but only functionally. They regulate time and planting cycles. They do not rule sovereignly over your destiny. They are cosmic clocks, not gods.
So the sequence light on day 1, tools on day 4, that's deliberate. It reinforces that the cosmos is completely subordinated to the creator.
100%. The universe is reliable and intelligible, not capricious.
Okay, so with the structure, the boundaries, the cosmic clocks all in place, day 5 finally focuses on filling those prepared spaces. God commands the waters and sky to team Rava with living creatures.
Yes, the stage of abundance. We see the creation of the great sea creatures, the Tananim, and every winged bird. And again, they all maintain those boundaries of Lemonet.
Pointing to its kind.
Always. And significantly, for the first time with living beings, God actively blesses them. Barak.
That's a key detail. Why the blessing here, but not for the land or the light?
The blessing is tied to reproduction and continuity. It's an empowerment. He commands them to be fruitful and multiply, Peru Urvu, to ensure they fill the domains made for them. The blessing guarantees the system will keep functioning dynamically.
And then, day 6, the dry land is filled. Domesticated animals, behemoth, creeping things, reams, wild animals, chaya, all within their kinds. And this sets the stage for the final act, humanity.
And the shift to humanity is marked by this really unique, deliberate language. The plural, let us make, na'asa, which emphasizes this divine consultation, it's intentional.
Right. Everything else was a simple command. Humanity requires deliberation.
Exactly. And humanity's role is defined through image, selim, and likeness, demut. For you, the learner, how should we understand that?
Well, Salim, image, that's not physical appearance, right? It's more about function.
It's about representative function. Humans are created to be God's representatives on earth, reflecting his authority and his governance. And demute likeness just emphasizes that similarity in role and responsibility. Humans are given the ability to manage the order God has set up.
And that unique status is granted equally. Male and female, Zakar and Akiva, both created in his image. In a world of patriarchal societies, what is the text arguing for here?
It's arguing for shared dignity, shared authority, and a shared purpose. The representative role is vested in humanity as a whole, not just one gender. I mean, that is an incredibly leveling concept for its time.
And that leads right to the core command of stewardship. Humanity is told to subdue, kibshu the earth, and rule Edu over the creatures. But if this is a very good creation, what does subdue even mean? It doesn't sound like exploitation.
No, the sources really interpret these terms as responsible management, governance, not destructive domination. Humanity is established as the high-level management, the caretakers who maintain the boundaries, sustain the system, and ensure that the ordered creation keeps functioning as intended.
Part of maintaining that harmony is provision. God grants, noten, sustenance to every living being. For humans, it's every seed-bearing plant and fruit. For all the other creatures, it's every green plant.
That's a remarkable detail about the initial state. The text establishes a universal plant-based diet. It's emphasizing this intended state of harmony and nonviolence across the entire created order. Everything is provided for. Everything is balanced.
And that brings us to the final, comprehensive conclusion in Genesis 1.31. God reviews everything he had made. The light, the order, the land, the life, the stewardship structure, the whole interconnected system.
And the final evaluation is just overwhelming. It's not just good toff. It's toff miyad. Very good.
Very good.
And this isn't just a satisfactory assessment. It signals that the entire system, every boundary, every relationship between humans, animals, and the earth is complete, balanced, and perfectly harmonious. The work is finished. It functions flawlessly.
So, for the learner looking at these sources today, what is the ultimate synthesis? What should we take away from this intense focus on structure?
I think this deep dive shows that creation in Genesis 1 is fundamentally an act of intentional ordering. It's a movement from unorganized potential to a highly functional, bounded reality. Every single stage, from light existing before the sun to the fixed boundaries of reproduction, lemony-hoo, it all just reinforces this idea that the universe is structured, reliable, and intelligible.
So the text is far less concerned with how long creation took and much more concerned with who did it, why they did it, and the consistent methodical order that resulted. You need a quick takeaway. Just remember that central pattern: separation, badal, naming Korah, and functional evaluation.
That's the blueprint.
So if we could leave you with one provocative thought to consider, let it be this. Since the great lights in the sky, the sun, the moon, and the stars, were created merely to serve as functional, subordinated regulators of time for life on Earth, this text implies that human focus should be directed away from the cosmos, away from the study of fate and destiny, and entirely toward the proper, diligent stewardship of the Earth, the Eretz itself. If the heavens are just tools, what does that demand of our attention and our effort right here on the ground?